introduction, Let It Go, Changing Trends in Characterization Through Disney Princess Herstory. Not history, this is a feminist project. So, basically, if you've ever known a little girl or been a little girl, you've watched a Disney movie. I know personally I've watched all of them at least 5 times each, and I can do the song and dance numbers from every single movie. Now, these movies are really important to younger girls because it's kind of the only media out there that's marketed just for us, so we can watch it and we can relate to the characters. So, currently there's 11 princesses, and to be a Disney princess, you have to be either royal by title, marriage, or considered a princess due to some act of heroism that you've committed, such as Mulan saving China. I know, the bar is set really high for us girls, all of China. For the purposes of this study, I've included Anna, who's the newest princess from the movie Frozen, even though she hasn't officially been inducted yet. So, the gap in my knowledge. There's been lots of studies done about Disney princesses and princess movies and how they affect our perceptions of gender characterization and feminism for kids' movies, but most of the studies are qualitative and not quantitative. There's only been one quantitative study done so far, and that's gender roles. That's by Laura England Descartes, who is the paper that I use most often in my study. But they only go up to 2009 with their data, and that movie is The Princess and the Frog. Since then, 3 more movies have come out. That's Tangled, Brave, and Frozen, and I feel like these movies have really changed the game, so I included them in the study. So the gap in my knowledge is basically I'm adding on to the study, I'm furthering that, so we can look more into the future. So my research question: through data collection and analysis of characteristics shown by the heroines of the Disney princess line, I hope to come to the conclusion that Disney princesses have become stronger and better role model characters for young girls. So my method is from gender role portrayal on the Disney princess. So this is previous research. Lots of research has been done along this line, not necessarily for Disney princesses, but just characters in children's media. All of these names are future research, are past research that has informed the research that I got my method out of. Basically what it is you watch a film and you have a list of characteristics, which here's some key terms I'll be going over, and you mark a tally every time the character is described having one of these characteristics or does one of these things. So you put a tally, and it was me and 2 volunteers, and we went through all 3 of the more recent movies, and we tallied every single time we saw a trait. And at first, I thought the demographics were going to be a little bit weird because I was the youngest female member in my study, and then the other 2 members were male aged 49 to 60 and a female aged 49 to 60, but we all had very similar answers, which means your demographic doesn't really change what you saw in the data because it's just presented as is. There doesn't have to be a lot of thinking about it. So the key terms, these are the masculine traits we were asked to look for. So some of the more important ones are being assertive, independent, and being a leader, which you would expect of Disney princesses because, hey, they're going to be ruling a kingdom someday. But unfortunately, some of the earlier Disney princesses did not exhibit many of these traits. Now, we would expect more feminine traits such as tending to their physical appearance, being nurturing, or being described as physically attractive. Now, I've watched all the Disney movies, and I don't think there is one where the princess is not described as conventionally beautiful in any of them, which for a character that you want to relate to, being described as pretty isn't really a character trait that you would like to have. So here are the results that I got from my surveys. Now, all the data in black is what has been collected already by the previous studies. All the data in blue is what I have collected for my study of the 3 most recent movies. And now I put them into graphs. Now this graph is by film in chronological order, and obviously you can see that the masculine traits are much less than the feminine traits. There are much more feminine traits, especially in Cinderella, which is in red there, Snow White, which is in blue, and Sleeping Beauty, which doesn't look that high, but when you compare it, it has the lowest number of masculine traits. And it makes sense because those are the earliest 3 films that were made from 1937 to 1958. So those have been a long time ago. We kind of accepted this. Now, you can't really tell, you can a little bit, but as we get further and further in Disney princess history, which is why I then separated my graphs into female characteristics in feminine characteristics in pink and masculine characteristics in blue. You can clearly see the discrepancies in the earlier films, but as we move closer, especially the 3 films that I coded and categorized, you can really tell that they're evening out and there's more androgyny in these characters. In Tangled, it's kind of the same as all the movies in the past have been, where the feminine traits are higher than the masculine traits. But in Brave, they're almost about equal, and in Frozen, she even displays more masculine characteristics than feminine characteristics, which I thought was very interesting, but analyzing the movie back, she shows a lot of being a leader and being assertive in her movie because she is forced to take control of the kingdom after her sister, the queen, is not there to run anything. So the significance. So the data, we can see a trend starting to form. They're becoming more assertive, more better leaders, more brave, and more independent characters. I really noticed that all 3 of these movies, when I was marking down independent characteristics, there was certainly a lot more of them than there were in the previous films. And these are opposed to characters who fixate on their personal appearance and are constantly nurturing others and singing to little birds. Though fixating on their personal appearance was a really funny one, because especially for Tangled, where her hair is super duper long, and Brave, where she has super crazy hair, they're constantly playing with their hair and tucking it behind their ears or like stroking it out. So I just think it's funny how that's considered a feminine trait, but it just kind of happens in the movies. And now for future implications. Now, this movie is coming out the end of 2016. It's the next Disney princess film. Her name is Moana. And what we can hope to see is another female character for the next generation of little girls, because this movie's kind of, I'm 18 now, so it's kind of out of my range of movies that I could really get excited about. I'm going to get excited about it anyway, but socially it's not really a movie made for me. But it's for the next generation of younger girls who will see role models in these girls. And we all know how big Elsa was from Frozen and how many girls dressed up like her for Halloween. So being the next Disney princess, she has a lot to teach younger girls, and judging by the trends that we have seen, we can hope that she's becoming a more assertive, independent character that doesn't fixate on being nurturing and has more androgyny and can be the woman that she wants to be. So we can teach younger girls of the generation that it's okay to be however